Warning: the following video has not been approved by the Comic Code Authority and is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The.Comic.Assassin. It's a Monday, which means we're going to be doing some news reviews. We're going to talk about the books that came out last week and what's coming out this upcoming week. I don't have a lot of time. This is actually the one time I have a shot to do this video. So if I make mistakes, I can't go back and redo them. And that's just the way it is. Alright? But there's not a lot of new news. I mean, San Diego Comic-Con is kind of wrapped up. We know what's going on. And the Marvel Phase 4 has been kind of the buzz. So it's not a lot of new news. But the one movie that I've been thinking about the last few days is the Shang Chi movie. Okay? As someone who's done martial arts off and on pretty much throughout their whole life, I love martial arts characters. I love the movies, I love the disciplines, I love the culture behind them, and I'm glad to see this character come to life. But at the same time, there's a lot of good questions, because apparently the rumor is that the Shang-Chi movie is going to lead the way into the Doctor Strange movie, the Multiverse of Madness. So that kind of got my wheels turned a little bit. Like, how is this going to be related? And we know that the Shang-Chi movie is going to have the Mandarin. It's been confirmed that the Mandarin is going to be in the Shang-Chi movie, but not yet the Doctor Strange movie. And so this leaves a whole wide spectrum of speculation, okay, of what's going to happen. And this is what's kind of fun. As being a fan of the books and the movies and all that stuff, this is what's kind of fun. So where is this going to tie in? Now, first off, we know that Mandarin is going to be in the Shang-Chi movie, but what's interesting is that years ago, when they had that fake Mandarin in the Iron Man, it was Iron Man 3, I believe it was, as soon as that movie hit, everybody was, not everybody, alright, but a lot of people are speculating that this was leading the way for the Mandarin to be in the next Doctor Strange movie. So with that said, yes, we might have Mandarin in Shang-Chi, but he might cross over into the Doctor Strange movie. Alright? That's a complete possibility. Alright, but then again, I got my wheels turned a little bit like, well, if that's not the case, what else could it be? Mandarin had his own Avengers. Alright, he had his own Avengers. He had Delage, Lich, several other characters are within his own Avengers, so there could be a bigger presence. We might have Shen Su. Shen Su was a character in the comics, and he's the one that awakens Fin Fang Foom. All right, and who doesn't like saying Fin Fang Foom? All right, that's an awesome phrase to say. So who knows? But it's kind of overwhelming, because another thing with the next Doctor Strange movie is that they're saying that it's going to be a darker and scarier. In fact, they're saying this is going to be the scariest MCU movie you've seen yet. And that leads me to think that we're either definitely delving into supernatural. We might even be dealing into the underrealm, like in hell and whatnot. But some people are talking possibly vampires. Alright, we know that Doctor Strange actually had some pretty big battles with none other than Dracula. Okay? And where do we get Dracula? We also think of Tomb of Dracula. And where does that lead us? Blade. So, is it possible? I don't know. And this is all the fun part of it. We just know there's a broader scheme to it. So, who knows? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. But there's also some controversy about this Shang-Chi movie. There's some controversy in the Chinese social media. Alright? Because if you don't know, Shang-Chi's father is Fu Manchu. And Fu Manchu has been a very controversial character in and outside of comics. All right, it's perceived as being very like anti-Asian or over stereotypical because it has the Fu Manchu mustache, and there's a lot of the Yellow Peril. There's a lot of stuff that's going on with that. I don't think Fu Manchu is going to make his way into this just because of those reasons, because it is very controversial. But that's one reason. The other reason is people are actually kind of a little bit mad because Shang Chi is not Chinese. He's Canadian. Which to me, I could care less about. Alright, if he plays a good character, he plays a good character. You know, does he have to have the actual nationality? Nah. But there's some controversy behind this movie already. And that's to be expected. I'm not really worried about it. I'm not going to put too much effort on that. But what else has come out in the movie news? I guess the what ifs. The what if from Marvel Phase 4, I'm actually excited about. And they've actually confirmed a lot of major players. Not only the characters, but the actors who have played these characters within the MCU. We have characters like Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. We have Hawkeye. We have Thanos. Right, Brolin coming back doing some Thanos. We have Nebula. That's Black Panther, Killmonger, Thor, Jane Foster. All right, I know that Jane Foster being Thor in the What Ifs is being really highly sought out right now. So there's a lot of cool characters that we've seen on the big screen coming in to do this What If series. And I think the only one that's been confirmed so far is the Peggy Carter. And so, yeah, there's only been one confirmed, but all those actors and their characters have been confirmed in the What If series. So I'm pretty excited about that. I love those comic books growing up, the What Ifs. I mean, it's kind of just taking a step away, saying, yeah, what if this did happen? You know, they've always been kind of fun reads, and I'm glad they're doing this series. So who knows what they're going to do, if it's going to be related exactly to the comics, or if they're going to do their own What If series. Who knows? And this isn't new news, but we have another title, Farmhand. Farmhand has been optioned by AMC. Now, I have Farmhand #1. I think I have the first 3 or 4 issues of Farmhand. It's a pretty cool book. It's basically about this guy who's farming human parts. So basically saying if you were injured, you had your arm, that need to be amputated, right? You could go to this farm. They have an arm ready to be used, and they would let you have it. But there's some family dynamics. There's some other dynamics to the book. I think it's a great book. I'm glad to see that being optioned by AMC. I think it'd be awesome. So, like I said, it's not new news, but we'll see what happens with it. Speaking of options, East of West, which is an Image title that was optioned for the Amazon TV, has pulled out. Alright, so there's no longer, as of now, there's not going to be an East of West show on Amazon TV. It might get optioned somewhere else. Maybe down the road they figure something out and it comes to fruition, but as of right now, nothing. And this is why you got to be careful in the speculative market, because you might have been a fan of East to West, or maybe you just want to be, on the spec side of things, and once you hear something is optioned, you go out and buy these books. Alright, so say if you were one of those other people who went and bought these books out because of a spec hype, the prices went up. You went and bought them for prices up, and the deal gets pulled out for one reason or another. Now you got a high-priced book that you paid for that no one else is going to pay for. So you always got to be careful when making these choices. Hopefully they get something going, because East of West, from what I've heard, is actually a really, really good series and should be put on screen, but they just could not make things work at that time. But that's been pulled out. The last movie news is And I hate to do this, but based on the last interview that I heard with Kevin Smith, he was interviewing the Russo brothers, and I think Kevin Feige, excuse me there, was about Keanu Reeves. Alright, and there's all been a lot of this talk about Keanu Reeves, about him being Warlock, this character. But Kevin Smith asked, what about Moon Knight? And they say, you're probably spot on. Alright, now it's not confirmed that Keanu Reeves is playing Moon Knight, but based on what I got from that interview, it seems a little bit more likely, alright, that we might be having some Moon Knight action coming up with Keanu Reeves playing not only the Mark Spector, the Moon Knight. So I'm excited about that. I love some Moon Knight, but look, who knows what's going to happen, alright? Other thing, it's definitely comic book related, but Stan Lee might be getting his own street. Alright, so New York, the Council of New York City has voted to declare a certain street in honor of Stan Lee. Alright, it's passed. The only thing we need is the mayor, de Blasio, to come in and approve it. But we might get a street in New York City. I don't know what the name is going to be. Maybe, it was just Stan Lee, or it might be like, I think Excelsior Way or something. That would be cool. But they're going to be doing a street in memory of Stan Lee, or naming a street in memory of Stan Lee. And I think that's so cool. But, yeah, let's see. Mayor, approve it. Approve it. Done. Alright? We need a Stan Lee Way, or Stan Lee Boulevard, or something. Okay? Let's do it. Alright, so that's pretty much all the news that I have. I know there's probably some other stuff that's come out. But, nothing's really exciting that I've seen besides what I've told you about. So what came out last week? And let me get my file. First off, I will start with, once again, I have been doing my best of hitting these dollar bins. These are all, I'm trying to do my full run of Spider-Man. I've done a good job of picking up Spider-Man. I got some more. Sorry, they're all kind of out of whack. Got some more Spider-Mans. One last one. And, once again, because like I said, if I really do believe that Mark Spector is coming to light, so I've been doing what I can of doing my Moon Knight run. If I find these in dollar bins and they're in decent condition, all day long I'm getting them. And I did get the Rise of the Midnight Suns, Morbius #1. I think I already have this one, maybe multiple copies of it. But We Love Comics actually did a little bit of news saying that we might be seeing Midnight Suns coming to the TV screen or the movie screen. And there's been talk about this for a long time now, but there was this article that came out. I haven't seen it, but he mentioned it on his page or on his show. So yeah, when I'm seeing those Midnight Suns, I'm going to pick them up. Because we know that Morbius is going to come to the screen eventually. And really, when I think of Midnight Suns, I think Morbius. That's just what I think of. So, anytime I see those in Dollar Box, I'm picking them up. But what else I picked up? I picked up Win of Venom, Funeral Pyre, and Star Pig #1. Now, I did a review on both these books during my last video. So if you want some more in-depth detail of what is going on in these books, go check out that last video and you'll find out. But I also picked up Guardians of the Galaxy #7. We got Starship Bowie. Alright, so they finally gave one of the ship's names in acknowledgement of David Bowie. And there was another article that came out in the last day or two saying that the David Bowie estate approved of this. And I love it. My daughter, her favorite artist was David Bowie. Alright, she loved David Bowie. In fact, the day that David Bowie died, we actually kept her out of school so she could have a day off to grieve. Alright, that's how much she loved David Bowie. So I was glad to see some David Bowie love in this book. Otherwise, it kind of leads up to some interesting stuff. We'll see. I picked up Dark Red, number 5. I have not read this one yet, but I love this series and look forward to it. Redneck 22. Once again, I love this series. I just have a few pages left reading this one, but I'm loving what Case has been doing in Redneck and seeing what's going to happen to the Bowman family with all this stuff that's been going on. And I got the Batman Curse of the White Knight. All right, now this was actually pretty good. I loved the White Knight series before, and I really dug this book. All right, so go check it out if you haven't already. But last but not least is House of X. Once again, I came into this series being super skeptical of what was going to be going on, because they've screwed a lot of X-Men stuff up in the past years. All right, and I came in this with very high skepticism, but I'm interested to see what's going on. Okay, I really am. So yeah, that's what I picked up last week. But what is coming up this upcoming week? All right, what should you be looking for when you go to your local comic book shop this upcoming Wednesday? And we'll start off with some independents or smaller publishers. Dark Horse, Man in Black, number 1, looks pretty good. Looks like a pretty good story. It's a Cullen Bunn book, and he's going to be on this list more than once today. All right. With this one, I would go with cover B, just because it goes to me more. That's one I like the most. But it looks like a pretty interesting book you might want to check up. Now we go with IDW, Canto. Not only do we have a number 1 second print, which if you weren't able to get the first print, which I did not because all the copies they had in my local comic shop were all jacked up, etc. And I was like, I'm not going to buy that. I'm not going to buy something that's damaged severely for just for the read. Like I just couldn't do it. All right, but the second print's coming out. Hopefully they learn from their mistakes and do a better job in their printing. But the second print of number 1 comes out, but also number 2 comes out. All right, so it seems like a series that a lot of people are excited about, so you might need to pick up Canto number 2. And then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 96, and it's already sold out. So if you're a TMNT fan and you don't have this book, and you're at your LCS on Wednesday and they have it, pick it up. I think it's being hyped up just because the last issue we have the whole Jerica or Jenica, whatever her name is, another female Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't think she was the first female turtle, but she's being kind of displayed as that. But anyway, that last book was hype, and I think the hype is carrying over into this next book. But also some other news. Sophie Campbell is actually picking up the work of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on 101. She's not a bad artist. She's definitely better than I will ever be. But I haven't seen a lot much of her action kind of stuff. And when I think of TMNT, I need some good action work. So who knows what will happen there. But starting 101, Sophie Campbell will be picking up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, alright? Keeping on with some of the smaller press, some of the indie stuff, we have Junior High Horrors number 6. Alright, this one's already sold out. This is it's the Friday the 13th variant, right? It's already sold out. It's kind of a fun read, especially if you're a horror fan. I think it's pretty cool. That might be one you want to check out. Knights Temporal. This is my Another Bun book. This is by Aftershock. This is number 1. Seems like a pretty cool concept. I'm gonna give it a try. If I can find it, I'm gonna pick it up, and I might even do a review of it during my next video. Then we have Leave on the Light number 1 by Antarctic Press. Now I love both these covers. I'm gonna pick up cover A, but that cover B is super awesome as well. I love horror related books. You know, sue me. But Go check it out. But also, I have to go with one that I mentioned several times before, Punk Mamba #4 by Valiant Comics. I love Punk Mamba. I think she's an awesome character. I think she's one of the, to me personally, one of the best characters that Valiant has come out with in a long, long time. And I'm excited to see what's happening in this upcoming issue. Now with Image, it's kind of weak as far as the number of books. But they do have The Walking Dead 193 second print that's coming out. If you weren't fortunate enough to pick up The Walking Dead first print, this will give you an option of picking up the book for a, at least cover price if you're on your game and you get there and you get it. All right. And once you know this is the last issue of The Walking Dead, I thought it was a great issue. I thought they ended it well with some, there's some here or there, but what you gonna do? If you like The Walking Dead, you don't have that book, go pick up that book. And then we have Spawn 299. I know we're all hearing about Spawn 300, even Spawn 301. But honestly, y'all, this is 298. I've been reading this series and I've been loving it. Some stuff is about to go down. And this issue is a little different, 298, but like in the last 2 issues before that, they had some awesome long spreads that were really cool. And it's been a very interesting run, and we'll just see what happens. We'll see what McFarlane has in store for us. All right, but I'm excited about it. Now when it comes to DC, really, I know they have that that Last Night on Earth series. Honestly, I'm not that interested in it. Okay, but I'm gonna say Batman Who Laughs #7, just because I believe this is the end of the Batman Who Laugh runs for now. And I'm gonna go with cover B, the Finch cover on that. I think that was a cool looking cover. So if you've been keeping up with the story, you might want to get that one. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of the whole multiverse thing. That whole Dark Metal run that came out, I enjoyed it, but the way it ended just put a bad taste in my mouth. Where I'm just not interested in the multiverse type of things. And the Batman Who Laughs is a cool looking character. Do not get me wrong, he's a cool, badass looking character. But that whole story is really just not for me. It might be for you, and if it is, go pick out this book, okay? But also, and I'm gonna give this shout out, even though I honestly hated the book, Collapser #1 right now, if you go to Midtown, they have it signed from Mike Uwe and Sean Simon, who were the writers of that book. You got both those autographs signed for cover price. So if you really like Collapser, or if you like those writers, you go to Midtown right now, and if it's still available, you can get you one signed for cover price. Me, I didn't like the book. I really didn't. Some people might like it, but hey, to each their own. Okay, I'm not going to judge you. You don't judge me. All right. Now with Marvel, we'll end with Marvel. My cover, the one cover that I like, and I struggled with this one, but Conan the Barbarian #8, the Sienkiewicz cover. I really do not like these themed variants. Alright, but I will say I love Sienkiewicz. I love his artwork. I've specifically went out and bought books just because of him as a cover artist. He does some great work, and I love the way he did the Conan, the Carnageized variant. I really do. I think it's a cool cover, but that's the one I would just pick up for the cover. Alright? So, you let me know what you think. There's also some other ones. The Venom Annual #1 is coming out. I'm excited about that. It has an appearance of Lady Hellbender. Now, this is not Lady Hellbender's first appearance, but she's coming back at it, and she's supposed to be giving Venom a run for his money. All right. Now, Lady Hellbender, I'm not gonna lie, she looks kind of hot. All right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in this annual. Plus, it's Venom. You can't go wrong. But my 2 picks for Marvel goes out to one, Death Head #1. I'm excited to see what comes out from this book. I'm not too familiar with the whole concept, but it seems like a decent one. So that's the one I'll be picking out. And the next one, which no one will have any problems finding, is Powers of X. Or you can say Powers of 10. I'm not saying Powers of 10. I'm saying Power of X. Alright? Because if it's either House of X or House of 10, Powers of X, Powers of 10. Alright? I'm saying Powers of 10. I don't care what anyone else calls it. But I'm looking forward to this book. And I'm actually refreshed that I am. Because like I said, I came into House of X being very, very skeptical. Very, very skeptical. Thinking, oh God, they're going to be doing some revamping of something. They're just going to screw up what's already screwed up. Alright, and they came with something that was kind of like, okay, I think I can get on board with this. So if they do it right, I'm kind of excited. Like I said, this is the first time I've been really excited about an X-Men title in a long time. So, one of my main picks for Marvel is Powers of X. Okay? So, there you go. I'm not going to keep any more. Thank you for watching the video. And I've got a lot of new subscribers now late. Thank you so much for subscribing to the video. Thank you for watching the video. And even if you don't subscribe and you watched it, please leave a comment. I would love to know what you think, because that's what it's all about. Alright? So with that being said, this is Drewski, the Comic Assassin, and when it comes to Wednesday, when you're out there at your local comic shop, happy hunting.